Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
All right, everybody, it's Paul Meeson from my Raw Life Health Show, and today we got part 2 with Charles from Ejuva, and I'm just going to let you get right into it, so enjoy.
And we have something that's far superior. What else? We have human strains of probiotics. 99% of the probiotics out there are from pigs and cows, even if they say dairy-free. We had Kem Shahani, who is the world's foremost authority on probiotics, put our formulation together. And we had him look at other formulations, and they should not be taken in capsule form, according to Kem. They should be human strain, which are really hard to find, and they're very expensive because there's not a big interest in that. Because the human strain probiotics adhere to the intestinal wall some 15 times greater, and they survive the stomach biles, etc. Also, and most importantly, your probiotics should be in something, I can't even pronounce the word, but Kem actually holds the patent on it. It's a FOS, F-O-S base. That's what protects them while they're in storage, and that's what also feeds them. And a lot of probiotics don't include that, and I don't want to, theirs didn't used to, so it's been a while since I looked at their ingredients. I don't want to say they don't, because maybe by now they do. And those are some of the main differences, other than ours is very simple to take. I've never taken theirs, but I'm told you have to take this at this hour, and 15 minutes that, and 35 minutes that, and your pH has to be this, and on and on and on. So ours was also just very simple to take, and it's very gentle, it's not as harsh, and you can control it. In other words, we recommend a certain amount of herbs to consume for the cleanse, but some people feel that's too much for them, so it's self-regulating. You can take it way down if you want to, or some people feel, you know what, this is far too gentle, I'm not getting what I want out of it, and you could take it way up. Ejuva can be either the most gentle cleanse on the planet or the most extreme herbal cleanse on the planet. The choice is yours.
And so, what exactly does human strain mean?
These are human strains of probiotics that were isolated from healthy human beings back in the 1940s. Most probiotics, and most people don't know this, actually come from pigs and cows. And there's a few of them that come from humans, and these have proven to adhere much better to our intestinal walls than do the animal strains.
Does that mean the strand for all these years and centuries has...
Exactly.
And so what now, is there a way to tell if it's come from a pig or a human? Like, is there a way...
There is a way to tell, and it's usually by the name, and it's usually by the source. Usually it's advertised as human-specific. Now, here's the tricky part regarding probiotics. In fact, recently, as you know, we updated the website, and I was searching the internet, my staff and I, about cleanses and all kinds of things, and I came across Elena Love's, her website. And she's a really well-known raw food chef, and she's a really great person. In fact, we were roomies back in the day out in Santa Cruz, California, and she had a recipe on her website, and this recipe called for specific probiotics, and I thought it was going to say Ejuva, and I clicked on it, and it was some other brand, because her and Sherry Soria use a lot of Ejuva in their recipes. Well, this one had a whole bunch of strains. Her new one, it had at least a dozen strains of probiotics in it. It said non-dairy. It said 50 billion organisms per gram. Ejuva's only 20. And I thought, well, Ejuva was made a long time ago, so perhaps, you know, it's time to make a new formula. So I got a hold of Kem's company. Ken had passed away, but his sons took over, and his partner was still there, Dr. Hutchinson. And we had several in-depth conversations regarding probiotics, and it turns out that even though that particular brand, first I said, look, she's got 12 strains, I want 20. I want the best in the world, because my math teacher told me more is better. And he said, well, actually I said, so how many strains are we going to put in? You want the best? He said. I said, yep. He said, put in 2. I said, are you kidding me? He's like, no, 2, 3, 4 at the very tops. He said, the more strains you have in it, the less of each organism you have in it. And they compete with each other, and the less strains, the better. The more strains is a marketing ploy. And then I said, but hers has 50 billion and mine only has 20. He said, that's another marketing ploy. The human body can only absorb 20 billion per day. There's no need to have more than that. And then, but the most important thing was to be sure to have it in the phos base, which hers didn't. And I said, but hers says it's non-dairy. And he said, that's because there's no ice cream in it. That's because there's no yogurt in it. But these definitely, without a doubt, came from animals, from dairy animals. But you legally can mark it as dairy-free because it's not ice cream and yogurt and all these other things. And I said, okay, well, what about these tablets, to protect them and time release? And he said, you only want to take it in powdered form. These tablets, we didn't get into it much, but something about taking something away when they're encapsulated, that they actually start dying and this and that. You don't want them in that manner and blah, blah, blah. And he said, the formula I wanted, by the time our conversation was done, I said, well, the only way to improve Ejuva's formula was pull out some of the strains because we have 7. But I'm afraid that, people won't get it. So I just left it alone. I'm afraid people will go over to Ejuva's and see 2 strains, and they'll go, how cheap these guys are. They don't know, and blah, blah, blah. So I just left it as it was, and that's our strains, and that's the story on probiotics.
Does Ejuva sell? I know there's probiotics within the Ejuva kit, but do you sell separately your own probiotics?
Do we sell separately our own probiotic? Yes, it's called Muflora, and no bowel is healthy without probiotics. In fact, probiotics, for those of you that don't know, they actually make all of the B vitamins for the human body. They help with the immune system. They also help with assimilation, not digestion, but assimilation takes place after digestion. And they're, however, very, very sensitive, and they die very, very easy. And some of the things that kill them are stress and also poor digestion. You eat meat, most people have putrefaction from that. Eat protein, putrefaction kills them. Carbohydrates, if you don't have proper digestion, that'll kill them. Fermentation, it's called. Fermentation kills them as well. And I've never met anybody, and I have a couple clinics, and I've been reversing so-called incurable things for years now using whole foods, live foods, and certain supplementations because I don't believe food is enough. And I've never met anybody that didn't have a digestive issue to one degree or another. So be careful. You need about 4 pounds of those things in your bowel to actually have good bowel health.
Okay, I want to talk about what you just said, but before we do that, I want to another question about probiotics. What do you think about getting it from a food source? Like some people, well, there's different sources. What do you think about yogurt, number one? And then I want to talk, so yogurt, kombucha, sauerkraut. What do you think about those things? Do you think those are different, the same, some are good and bad, or they're all nothing as good as getting? What do you think?
In my opinion, and my opinion comes from Kem Shahani and his people, the best probiotics are definitely human strain, cultured from healthy humans. And animal probiotics, they will work, and they can help. But if you're looking for the best, then that would be the human strains. But they're very difficult to find, and once you do find them, they're truly very expensive.
Okay, do you think it's, but within the food, not necessarily the yogurt, but like kombucha and people are making like, even they're fermenting coconut water and stuff. What do you think of this stuff?
I'm not big on fermented foods, to be honest. I don't think they're conducive to health in most cases. Now, I have to speak in generalities because we don't have, all day to do this interview. But generally speaking, and there's always exceptions to the rules, I don't like fermented foods. I don't like the teas. I don't like anything. The yogurts, the cabbage that's eating itself alive. It's
wonderful.
I don't think it's produces health.
Okay. All right, everybody. That was part 2 with Charles from Ejuva. It's just getting better and better, and tomorrow part 3 is even better. So join us tomorrow, part 3, with the interview of Ejuva. And if you want to get Ejuva, go to my web store, rawlife.com, and check it out.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.